Is it right? Where we have stopped. We have stopped in terms of code of corporate governance. Is that there are four codes of corporate governance. When we say this, that what the in general, okay, in general what they need. See, when we are talking about the corporate governance, we have so much to say, so much to discuss about the, but this is the basis. UK corporate governance code. UK corporate governance talks about five different things. Okay, they are talking about in terms of leadership, how an organization should build a leadership, and how the leadership should be effective. It's all about leadership. Is that when we are talking about the leadership, it is basically the core leadership is the board of directors. Okay. Subsequently, it will go down the line. How the leadership will be at the top, it will be the same thing will be followed down the line in hierarchy. You should have more important accountability. Accountability should means I have to take that responsibility that they have given me the responsibility, and for that responsibility I am answerable. Okay, accountability is nothing but accountability is you have to be answerable for that. And most important thing, remuneration plays a very critical role. When we are talking about the remuneration, who should fix the remuneration, how much should be the remuneration, and remuneration should be transparent. Is that remuneration should be transparent? All the things has to, it should not be at the expense, at the cost of the shareholders. As simple as that. If we are fixing the remuneration, remuneration should be justifiable. Is it? Remuneration should be justifiable against, okay, against performance. That's very important. And what are the relations with the stakeholders? See, stakeholders means here we are very much concerned about which type of shareholders. We are talking about the minority shareholders. Okay, we are talking about the minority share. These things we will cover in detail. Okay, now when we are talking about the leadership, see the things. Every company should be headed by a board. Board is very critical one, which is responsible for what? Which is responsible for the long-term success. Because boards will take which type of decision? Strategic decisions. Any doubt is there? Just stop me. I know where my students will have doubt. Very simple. Is that where you will find where there is a difficulty? I can sense. At that point of time, I expect that you should write the doubt. Fine. The most important thing is leadership at the board of directors. Is it right? Who is responsible for? Who is collectively responsible? Keep it in mind. Is that they say it's a collective means a person, one director is not responsible. Is that one director is not responsible? The complete entire board of directors, is that entire BOD, board of directors, are responsible for the long term, because any strategic decisions, any decisions which requires huge investment, any decisions which is going to have its impact in the long term, the only thing is board of directors are authorized to take, okay, or authorized to take. This is the first one. Next, second one, there should be a clear division of responsibility at the head of the company between board and the executive responsibility. Yeah, no one individual should have powers of that. This unfettered means it's unfettered means you should not have open hands. Okay, you can. There's no there should not be a person is not authorized to take all the decisions. Is it right? Means what happens? We use this word. You should have checks and balances. Is that everybody should be monitored. Every other individual, every other decision should be a collective decision, but not an independent decision. The point number 3 in terms of leadership, the chairman is responsible for the board and ensuring effectiveness in on all aspects. Means chairman has to take, see, chairman is not there, he is the head of the, he leads the board of directors. Is it right? We have to make sure that, see, board of directors also very sensitive. I will let you know. Is that, see, it is not just for the sake of name that I am a director for this company. If you are a director, if you are a director for the company, you have your responsibilities. They will also give you the training how to be a board of directors in the beginning. Once you have been appointed board of directors, you have to attend, you cannot be an absentee on that. Is a, what is your involvement, what is your attendance, how you are contributing, various multiple, the more the responsibilities, the more the accountability, as simple as that. You should ensure that the board of the chairman is responsible for leadership. You have to lead the company, lead the board, lead the decisions in a most effective manner. Okay, next, keep this in mind. The moment we are going down the line, we will come across questions on this. Understand what? This is not just for understanding. The questions will be based on these points one by one. As part of the role of members of unitary board, non-executive directors, is it, should constructively challenge and develop proposals. Challenge means you should, it's not you should question, you should, the other person should, you should ask the justification. Is it that non-executive directors are independent directors. It is a external people nominated. See, when you are becoming director is, full-time director is not a big thing, but becoming a non-executive director means you are representing the outside the organization. You are more accountable. That is the reason most of the things we will assess, we will evaluate how the role of non-executive directors will have in the composition of board of directors. Are you clear about this?
Yes.
Next, coming back to the thing, what effectiveness? We'll say that what is the effectiveness? Is that simple words? Make it a point, key point. The board committee should have appropriate balance. Is that when we are saying it is effectiveness, they should have skills, they should have experience, they should be independence and more knowledge and more about knowledge of the company. People have a different, is a good combination of different variables. Is that people should have skills, experience, independent. More importantly is what they say, independence. Independence is you should make it a point that everything you, whatever is there, you should not get influenced by others. Is that you should have your own thinking, you should have your own opinion. That's very important. Is that the first one? The second one, there should be a formal, rigorous and transparent procedures. With respect to what? With appointment to new directors to the board. Means, see, as simple as that, if you wish, you are applying for a job, they will scrutinize all the things what you are having. They will not only take into consideration your qualification, your skills, your social factors, everything will be taken. Here also, when you are appointing a board of directors, it's the highest body in the organization, in the company. You should have multiple skills with experience, and it should be more formal. Formal means as per the procedures. Okay, when we are saying it's a formal, as per the laid down procedures. Is it? It's a laid down process and procedures. For appointment. Rigorous means you should have multi-level screening. Okay, multi-level screening. You should have, whatever is happening, it should be transparent for the appointment of new director. All directors, rule says that should be able to allocate sufficient time. Is that we should not see when you are having, see, they will also check how many meetings has been conducted during the year and how many meetings you have attended. Understand? How many meetings you have and how much responsibility you have discharged. What is the role? What is your, most importantly, in simple words, if I say It is nothing but the contribution a director is making. Is it? Next. I told you they will receive induction on joining the board. Is that they will give good a induction as you are having your induction program. They will also be given induction. They will say what are the things to do and what are the things you should not do. How you have to discharge your duties, how you have, what are the responsibilities, every other thing they will make you aware when you are becoming a director. And the most important thing, see why we say it is, we have to we have to keep it in mind, very specific, is it right? You have to update and refresh your skills. Is that? See, this is what, when you are, why we say it is a professional course. Professional course is first the most important aspect of profession. Nobody will tell you what to do, what not to do. You have to do it on your own self. You have to do. Nobody will say, this is the stage where you have to be a self learner. Is it right? You have to be a self learner, and you have to refresh yourself. Is that? Nobody will say that you, whether people will ask, because when you are attending the meetings, when you are within the group, you should know what's happening in external environment. You should know what are the external factors, what are the things happening in financial field, in marketing, everything. You will have a comprehensive updated knowledge. You will say that it will be very difficult. No, that's not the case. When you are making a point, when you are sitting and arguing, putting your point before the other members of the board, you should have a complete up-to-date knowledge. Is it right? That is the fourth one. Now, fifth one, what the board should be supplied a timely manner with information in a form of, the quality means you should give the inputs. Is that they should also, the management, the company has to give them the sufficient what's happening, okay, inputs about what's happening within the company. Is that to disturb? Means they should give, even they should get inputs from external environment. Is that? As well as they have to get inputs from internally. They have to, externally they have to get updates. Is it right? Externally you have to get it updates. Internally it has to be provided what's happening, what's not happening. The board should undertake formal and rigorous annual evaluation of our own performance. Is that? You should have your own, you should know what you're doing. Is that? Nobody will say, you should say that yes, I have contributed, because what happens, they, at the end of the term there will be a re-election. It has been given here. Re-election will be done. When re-election will be done, definitely, see, people will re-elect you based on our performance only. If I am not performing, if I am not contributing to the betterment of the firm operations, company operations, growth, definitely they will put a question mark. What is my role in the board of directors? Is that so? There should be a continuous evaluation, and that of its committees and individual directors. There are different committees will be there. We will cover this in a later session. Okay. Now all the board of directors, see that thing, all directors should be submitted for re-election at regular intervals, subject to the satisfactory performance. Is that this is
So
this?
there's annual
Yeah.
election.
Pardon?
So there's annual re-election of the director.
They will be. We cannot say annual elections. It depends. Okay. In some companies the elections will be held at every 2 years. Is that? In some companies elections will be held at every 3 years. In some companies elections will be held annually also. But usually, if you take a blanket rule, if we take a normal circumstances, either it will run for 2 years or at the end of 3 years.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, See, this is the most critical one. Okay, this is the most critical one. Accountability. Somebody is answerable. The board should present a balanced and understandable assessment of company's position as well as the prospects. Is it? They have to present a balanced and understandable assessment. Is that what happening with respect to the company's position? Position means assets and liabilities, performance, as simple as that. And what are the future prospects? Is it right? The first one means it has, and every annual report. Is it right? If you take the annual report of any company, is that any company's annual report? Is that annual report talks about the what they will have management summary. Is that management summary will be there? Management chairman's report will be there. Is it right? You will have a chairman's report will be there. Is it? You have a management summary will be there. You have an auditor's report will be there. Is it? You have nowadays, if you are saying it is mandatory, is it right? You should have a corporate governance report. Is it? Every company has to, listed companies, is it right? This is a legal obligation that you have to submit a corporate governance report. Is right? It may be small, it may be 1 or 2 pages, but every annual report will have this. The board is responsible for determining the nature of any significant risk. Is it right? See the thing, whenever you will say it is the management summary, it is the chairman report. What happens? You will, if you see the things, one of the subheadings, we will see that we will come across risk factors. Risk factors will be there in all the cases. Whenever a company issues shares, IPOs, you will have risk factors. In management summary, they will mention very clearly what are the risk factors. Is that what are the risk factors? You have to identify, including is willing to take in achieving strategic objectives. Now, what is the responsibility of the board? The responsibility of board in accountability. We cannot say that X is responsible, Y is responsible. No, the board is responsible for. No, you should have a sound risk management, and more importantly, board is responsible for what? They are responsible for internal controls. Now you see the thing. The moment you visualize these aspects, it says that the ultimate responsibilities lies with the board. That is the reason whenever we say who are charged with governance, don't miss this word. This word, never use the word management. Never use the word manager. Always in the audit, I will say wherever it is applicable, use the word charge with governance. Those charged with governance. This is the most important keyword in auditing. Is that means board is responsible for maintaining sound risk. Is that risk management factors? Now you will say risk management factors. We are not going into that much detail. You have to mention we are not giving any examples here. We say that and more importantly, we have to think about internal controls. Okay, this is the one. Now, what is the third point in terms of accountability? They should establish formal, transparent arrangements for how it is applied with corporate reporting. Different levels of management. Okay, the corporate reporting is nothing but different levels of management. You should have very clear cut management roles. Is it right? You should think about, I will put it more elaborately here, is that you should have very clear structure of the management. That is the reason if you see any organization, is that you are talking in terms of operation level, Is it right? We are talking about the middle level. We are talking in terms of the strategic level. That is the top level. There should be hierarchies there. Is that who is reporting to whom? Is that who is reporting to? Functionally, who is reporting? Administratively, who is reporting? Is that when you are talking in terms of things, you should know who in terms of functional reporting, in terms of you are reporting in terms of administration. Is that and risk reporting and corporate reporting and risk management, and more important, what are the internal control principles? Who is reporting? How it is going to be reported? What is the role of internal auditor? What is the role of management? Is that what is the role of internal auditor? What is the role? See very clearly the role of the people who are role of charged with governance. Okay, what is the role of the people who are charged with governance? What is the role of internal auditor? The role of internal. We'll cover this internal auditor relation in detail. And what are the things measures we have taken? Is it right? What are the measures we taken for risk management? Risk management comes somewhere with relation to internal controls. Okay, what is the risk material misstatements are there? All those things we'll cover in detail. Okay, this is the accountability. Accountability means they should present a balanced and understandable assessment of company position and prospect. This happens, if you take this into consideration, this happens in two areas. One, it is happening in the management summary. One, it is happening in the chairman's report. Is that they will give you this one separate point, they will plug it out in terms of the assessment. Are you clear about this?
Yeah.
Fine. Now, coming back to this most critical one. Now you will understand slowly and steadily. You will understand what is the remuneration. Is that who will fix remuneration? How should be the remuneration? What is the procedure of fixing the remuneration? Remuneration to the full-time directors, executive directors. Level of remuneration should be sufficient to attract. Is it right? Sufficient to attract, retain, and motivate directors. Just read once slowly without sound. Just read on your own. It says that levels of remuneration should be sufficient to attract. See, you have to pay, as simple as that. It is not like you have to pay less or you have to pay. You have to pay as per the competitive. Is that as competitive remuneration should be there? Means that once you are paying, definitely people will be people are doing service, they are providing service, and their expectations will be there. Is that the expectation? They, when you are creating a something for the creating value for the company, I am expecting nobody in the world gives free service free of cost. Is that? And you require the quality required to run a company successfully. When you are talking about the skills, experience, abilities, all the things, definitely they will be paid a good, reasonable. I will not say good. They will be competitive and they will be a reasonable. Yeah, but the company should avoid paying more than necessary for this purpose. Whenever you are doing this, divide the sentence. Okay, divide the sentence. This is the first sentence. First sentence talks about the should have a quality. You should pay appropriately so that you can retain the services. Otherwise, what will happen? Directors should not resign off and on. Directors should complete their term. That's very important. Is that directors should complete that term. If good directors are there, they should get re-elected also. Performance based directors. Is that a significant proportion of directors remuneration should be structured so that they will link rewards to corporate and individual performance. See the thing, if you take the directors, I will give directors, we don't have that much information, okay, but I'm just giving a similarity. It is not exactly, I'm just giving a similarity. Whenever you are thinking about CEO, whenever you are talking about chief operating officer, when we are talking about chief marketing officer, what happens? They will get salaries, is it right? Plus they will get perks, is that they will get incentives, and in some cases, not in some cases, in most of the cases, they will also get what? ESOP, employee stock, executive stock option plans. Means they will get equity shares also. Is that? This is what it says. The remuneration is linked to your the overall performance. When we say corporate, it based on overall performance as well as in terms of individual. There should be a formal and transparent procedure in developing the remuneration for the director. No director should be involved in deciding his and her remuneration. See, when we are doing the things, if you see the thing, see, have a look at annual reports. Is it right? In the annual reports, best of the best companies will give some annexure. Is that they will give some annexure. In the annexure, they will mention the remuneration of the directors. How each director, how much they have paid, how much paid they are paid. Okay, each that they will mention. There is a very transparent process. Is that these directors are paid this much amount, this much perks, this much incentives. Even you see the things that directors, that is not much in media, but whenever you come across a CEO is appointed, immediately you see the thing. Google CEO is there, Pepsi CEO is there, you will have Microsoft CEO is there, any company CEO is there, any airline CEO is there. They will say that this that has been appointed with this much perks, this much also. Total annual remuneration is this much. Is it? They will mention that. Means it has to be very, very transparent. And remuneration is a one sensitive area of question paper. They will ask about the remuneration. Okay. Now, this is the fifth one, the last one. Relations with shareholder. There should be always be a dialogue. Communication has to be there. Okay. Communication has to be there, and there should be what? Why we are having communication? We should have a mutual understanding of the objective. See, we have to work. We have to work with respect to what is the goal of the organization, goal of the firm. That's very important, isn't it? Next, that is why we what we have to achieve, and what are the expectations. Why we are having dialogue with the shareholders, because these are the people who are directly involved. They are the one source of company existence. One source of company existence. The shareholders are more important. They have the expectation. You should talk to them. That what are the usually it happens in AGMs and in separate platforms. The board has a whole responsibility for ensuring a satisfactory dialogue with the shareholder. See, this is where we are saying, this is where the agency cost comes into picture. Is that you should, one side you will have the management, one side you will, I told previously also, one side you will have the shareholders. If both will go like this, things will not work. Okay, things will not work. You are drifting. You are not having any understanding. Is that what will happen? The gap will be huge. Is that the gap will be huge? The only purpose is you should have a minimum gap. Is that a good understanding? I will put like this. I will say there should be a good understanding. Gap will be there. There is no doubt that you should not. They will differ, but the gap should be minimum. There should be a mutual understanding, a satisfactory dialogue. They are not using any word such as you have a good dialogue. It's a satisfactory dialogue where you will have a minimum gap. I can say minimum misunderstanding. The board should use AGM to communicate with investors and encourage their participation. Is it clear about this?
Yeah.
Fine. Now you have the 5 things. See, in these 5 aspects, they will test. They will test. The moment we go into the question answer sessions, definitely you will understand how important is this. Is that the board should what is the audit risk and internal controls? The board should ensure independence of internal auditor and external auditor functions. Independence is the key function as such. Is that you should have your own. We say internal auditors are the employees. Even internal auditors are employees. They have to be independent. The internal audit function will reflect how effective is the board of directors. Board should manage risk. Is that board should manage risk in terms of we are not supposed to go what are the risk. Risk is a very broader term. Okay, the only thing you have to remember is risk factor, and they should also see internal controls. Audit committee must be established. See the thing. Whenever they say must means there is no other option. They will use should. They also use must. Must means by condition. With minimum 3 independent non-executive directors. They should not be, keep it in mind, there are so many questions on this. So many questions. And in examination, every time they will ask that audit committee must be established, and it should consist of exclusively independent non-executive director. The chair should not be member, means the chairman should not be member of audit committee. You just keep this one. Okay, I am putting in purple color. Okay, I am putting in purple color. It is very, very important. Is that on this only you will get question. Keep it. I will give that much assurance. Is that at least one member with recent and relevant experience. When we say recent and relevant experience, they have not mentioned, but it is related to financial. One member should be having a recent and relevant experience with respect to finance qualification. Is it right? These are the risk and internal controls. How we are going to, are you clear about this?
Yeah, I have one question, please.
Tell me, please.
So for the chair, it's mentioned chair should not be a member of audit committee. So this is like by law, right?
You cannot say by law. This is one of the recommendations. This is the one of the code of corporate governance. Is it right? In some cases, I will answer you. In some companies, chairman will be the part of audit committee. It doesn't give you any positive signal. Message is not positive. Is it? Message will not be. That is one of then there will be one of the shortcomings, one of the drawbacks. Is right? If this is the thing they will ask, this is the what they will ask you in the question. They will say that chairman is the part of the audit committee. Then you will say these are the shortcomings. This is the weakness. As simple as they will ask what are the weakness and what are the strengths and weakness of the audit committee. In that they will give you one option. The option says that multiple choice question. In the option they say that chairman is part of the audit committee. Then you should mention, you should select that one of the weaknesses of the audit committee is chairman is the part of the audit committee. That is one of the weakness. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, this is one of the weakness. These are the things they will ask. They will not going beyond this. These are the things they will focus completely. Next, coming back to the remuneration. Remuneration by the remuneration committee. A separate committee will be there. Now you will come across so many different committees will be there. Again, the remuneration committee will be what? It should be minimum 3 independent non-executive directors. Remuneration should promote long-term sustainable success. Sustainable means it should be effective. It should not be. You are appointing a director. The director should not change from time to time. Should not replace from time to time. The director should complete. Is it right? They should complete. Is it? Complete LET, complete the minimum, the stated, I will not say minimum term, as well, they should complete the elected term. Is it? They should complete the elected term. Words are very specific. Is that means they should, if you are electing for 2 years, 3 years, you should complete the term and then you should give way to others. Is it? Next. Policy of setting remuneration should be formal and transparent. The rules, terms and conditions should be very clear and it should be published, as simple as that. That it should be published in the annual report. No director should be involved in setting his own pay. You know better than me. Yeah? That fourth one, board chair can only be a member of chairman of the only be a member of remuneration committee if independent on appointment. If a chairman of the board is appointed as a independent from the external, then only chairman should part of the remuneration committee. Otherwise, if the chairman is a internally appointed from the executive directors, then the chairman should not be part of the remuneration committee. Workforce pay should be considered when setting executive pay. Means when you are fixing the things, you should workforce pay means it's nothing but the salary. Okay, should be considered when setting the that is the reason. Salary will be the basic. The first point is salary. Then you will have another things that comes into picture. Non-executive directors paid according to the time commitment and responsibilities. Means the pay of non-executive directors are variable. Is it right? The pay of non-executive directors are variable. The pay of executive directors are fixed. Is that the pay of the? Are you clear about this? Read this.
Yeah. One
Read this.
question.
Yes, tell me.
Okay, regarding the remuneration, it's given annually, right? to the directors?
It depends. We are not going in detail on that. We are not going
Because
detail.
you mentioned in the second point, then the remuneration. Remuneration should promote long-term sustainable success.
Yes.
So they're paid like for 2 years or 3 years in
No.
advance.
No. It is all at the discretion. Okay, there is nothing like that. Some people will say per month, some people say annually. Is it right? Some people will say annually. Mostly it is annually. Mostly, if you see the media reports, we can get it from media reports only. We'll get a lot of information. They say that they have fixed per annum. In nowadays, if you take nowadays in most of the corporate, is that right? Most of the corporate, I'm talking about globally. I'm talking about MNCs, okay? I'm talking about MNCs. I'm talking globally. Most of the things at any middle or higher level management, they are fixing the salaries annually only. They will divide and they will pay on monthly basis, but the fixation will be done on the annual basis. Subsequently, they will subdivide it to monthly basis. Is it? When we are saying it is a sustainable success, see, sustainable means it should be reasonable, it should be competitive, and director's commitment is very important. The moment you see, as simple as that, you are doing a job here. The moment you get, if you are paid appropriately, if you are recognized, paid appropriately, your performance will also be matched to that payment. But the moment you think that I am not paid appropriately, definitely your mind, you will think about another job.
Okay.
Fine. See that this is how it happens in our section A. Okay, they will give you a scenario and they will ask you to work on that. Barclay Bank was fined for attempting to manipulate LIBOR and the Euribor. Okay, the scandal resulted in key members of board resigning, the chairman, the executive, and the chief operating officer. What they have rates were manipulated to benefit traders' financial positions. This is the first, I think, this is the first or second a full way of presenting a section A question. Is it? The banks appeared to have made very high profits from artificially manipulating the LIBOR. Is that from artificially manipulating the report? What they say, what they are asking, what happens? The scandal results in. Once you read this one again, please. It is done.
Yeah.
See, is it? Now, what happened because of this? The members of the board resigning, the XYZ, okay, chairman, chief executive, and the chief operating officer. They are manipulated to benefit traders' financial positions and to make banks seem healthy during a global finance. Whenever you have some time, just go through this phase, what happens in global financial crisis, because most of the time this gives, now even it is almost 15 to 16 years back, but that is one of the every other financial situation will be related, and that will be taken as a uh, benchmark for understanding the concepts. Okay. Now, what they have mentioned, they say that the scandal has resulted in many changes in terms of LIBOR means London in what is the rate of interest. Okay. In what happened because of this, in the UK, LIBOR has been regulated. Previously, it was not regulated. Now you will see, if you have done foreign exchange management, you are doing in the banks. Is that you are fixing the rate of interest? In the fixing the rate of interest, LIBOR is the benchmark for us. Is that it has been regulated. Making false or misleading statement in relation to the benchmark trading is now a criminal offense. Means that has led to make the changes, and because of that they have regulated so many things from 2014 onwards. Is that from 2014 onwards, bank including so many multinational banks fined by Financial Conduct Authority for rigging, for foreign exchange rigging. If you come across any bank, they are doing this type of unfair practices, is that unfair trade practices, then definitely they are going to be fined on this. So many things happen. Subsequently, I will refer. Is that so many things will happen? Is that there is a new code of conduct which outlines systems and controls banks need along rebound. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. You see another one. We have done this. Every other way we will cover this in most of the papers. If you are talking about ACCA, okay. Poor corporate Enron. Enron is the standard. Is a reputed case study for our learning purpose. Poor corporate got directly contributed to a scandal in 2001. Even it is almost 23 years old. Still people debate, people discuss, and people analyze this case. Is that what happens is the thing. The Enron CEO and chairman were responsible for which led to company's demise and is external auditors. Otherwise, there is a big five. Okay, we used to call it as big five, including Arthur Anderson auditors. But what after the existence of Arthur Anderson, we call it as a big four only. Okay, Enron used irregular practice, which made seems to be a lot more profitable actually. What happens? CFO is it the CFO misled the directors and the audit committee about the irregular accounting practices. See what happening? He also put pressure for internal auditors to ensure. Means what happens if you are doing then the the external auditors independence is put at question mark. The chief and financial officer, these are the in the question they will ask what is the weakness, what are the strengths. In the multiple choice question they will ask, one question will be on the weakness, one question will be on the strength, one question will be on the recommendation. Is there one question will be on the, they will ask very strategically, they will ask this type of question. The Enron led to implementation. After Enron only, what happened? They said that we have to implement Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which sets out provisions for what? Corporate governance that American companies need to adhere to. Sarbanes-Oxley Act is also one of the benchmarks for corporate governance. Then only we come across that director composition of the board, composition of the audit committee, composition of remuneration committee, who is going to be part of audit corporate governance, who should not be part of corporate governance. These things has came into existence. It's a very simple, it's not difficult. I'm telling you this. Where there is a difficulty, it will be. If you have a common English understanding, we can do these questions very easily. Is that this is one of the questions in, see, previously, is that what is the difference between previous papers before 2019 and after 2019, when they started this MCQ format? In the previous format, they used to give 5 questions. Okay, they used to give you 5 questions, and each question will be approximately 20 marks. Total will be how much? Total will be 100 marks. Is it right? Is it now? Now in this new format, is it a new format? If you take all the new format question bank, revision kit, they have taken the same questions. Is that they have taken the same one question they have taken? Is that one scenario they have taken like this, and they have made how many questions? They have made 5 questions. Is that 5 questions will be there, MCQ, and times 2 marks. It comes to how much? It is 10 marks. That is why if you go to the question bank, you will come across all scenario based questions. Is it right? All scenario based questions with that these 20 marks questions they have converted into 10 marks. Okay? This is what it. Now read this one. One minute. 1 minute. First, keep it in mind. Whenever we are going to in the examination also. Okay, in the examination also. I'm not talking about section A, but section B. I'm talking specific. Whenever you have the thing in the reading time, first read the requirement. Make it a practice. Even if sometimes I will miss, very simple, but you have to caution me. Okay, first you read the requirement. What is the requirement? Says what are the 6 corporate governance weaknesses faced by Serene, and provide recommendations to address each weakness to ensure compliance with corporate governance principles. What you see, this is what the people will say that you should, and this is also given in most of the recommended places, that they will say that read the question. Once you are reading the question, the moment you can understand the scenario, in the scenario you will be more focused. Is that what they are asking? 6 corporate governance weaknesses and 6 recommendations. 12 marks means for 6 there will be weaknesses for 6 marks. There will be recommendations for 6 marks. Is that they provide recommendations for 6 marks? Means how many recommendations we have to identify? 6 recommendations, 1 mark, and 6 weaknesses, 1 mark. Is it? Now you read the scenario. Now I'm talking about the examination point of view. In examination, the first paragraph, anyway, they will talk about the company, know about the company. Serena was been trading for over 20 years and obtained a listing on the stock exchange 5 years ago. It provides specialist training in accounting and finance. Okay, the listing rules of the stock exchange required compliance with the corporate governance principles. And the direct principles, they are focusing on principles very clearly, corporate governance principles. Okay, I will go back to the things what we are done. And the directors are fairly confident they are following the best practices in relation to this. However, recently an email from the significant shareholder who is concerned that Serena does not comply with corporate governance principles. See the thing, Serena board comprised of 6 people. 4 are executive who originally set up the company and 2 are non-executive. This is one of the weakness. Is it? Now, there are 4 who are originally set up the company and 2 non-executive who joined Serena just before the listing. Means they are not joined since the beginning. Then only to have a listing, in order to fulfill the listing requirements, they made them to compel the company to appoint independent directors. They have not followed since the beginning. Second point, each director has specific area of responsibility and only the finance director reviews the financial statement. It is not the finance director. The overall, it is the responsibility of the overall board. You cannot say that I am looking this, I am looking this. Whenever you are, it is the board is responsible. If board is responsible, everyone is responsible. All the directors are responsible. Is it right? This is point number 3. Is that simple? Very simple. I'm telling you, you follow a very mathematical approach. You are getting your marks very easily. It says that the chief executive director set up an audit committee and he sits on this committee. The chief executive should not. Audit committee is what? 3 independent non-executive directors. Is it another 4th weakness? Along with the finance director and finance director should not be part. Is it right? Should not be part of the audit committee. Okay. This is another segment. Divide. In the examination, you have the option to put like this. As the board is relatively small and to save, we should not save cost. Daniel Brown who is Daniel Brown? Chief Executive Director. Taken the role of the chairman of the board. Chairman and board are 2 different positions. Is it right? You cannot have a chairman and board and CEO holding the same position. Is it right? You should not have the chairman and board. This is point number 6. Sorry, point number 5. Okay. It is finance director and the chairman who make decisions and appointments. Again, of the external, it is not the chairman and board. It is the independent non-executive directors. This is point number 6. Again, to save cost, no internal audit. This is point number 7. There is no internal audit function. The executive director's remuneration is proposed. The executive director's remuneration should be done by whom? It is going to be done by remuneration committee. Again, it must, they have mentioned, it must be minimum 3 non-executive directors. This is point number 8. They are paid an annual salary as well as generous revenue related. Again, it is point number 9, another weakness. It should be reasonable, it should not be generous. Since the company listed, the directors remain unchanged, no re-election. It is point number 10. This is the question paper problem. This is not the problem of any other thing. This has been, and if you cover the things, question bank, you will have all the question. We are doing the same thing. We'll cover the concept, we'll cover the question paper problems. If you cover any books, you take X, Y, Z, all will have the same thing. Is it better? And I advise that focus on question paper problems. It gives more understanding, more clarity. Now, how
Can you
many
clarify
weaknesses are there we have identified?
10?
10. We have to write 6. Examination, you should not go beyond 6. Very simple. Okay, we should not go beyond 6. We should not write less, nor we should write more. Don't expect
So
that I will write 7 and I will get. See, when you identify 10, you write whichever 6 you find it easy. If you are doing this, I will say, if you are doing this, almost 10 marks is there in your bag. Almost 10 marks. Nothing is there. Now you can put very clearly. Is that what they say? They say it is a 6 weaknesses you should identify. See what see, this is the instruction they are giving. Before you do anything, look at the requirements. See, look at the requirements. Standard procedure for all exams, for all modules. Mark the allocation. You are asked to describe 6 and you make recommendation, address each weakness. There are 12 marks available, 1 mark for each weakness and 1 mark for each recommendation. 6 plus 6. Next, think about how you are going to present your answer. Of course, we are talking about MCQ. It applies to section B also. This type of question test you would be best answered using a columnary format. One side weakness, one side recommendation. You can link weakness and recommendation. Means once when we are identifying the weakness, is that when you are identifying a weakness, immediately you should give what is the recommendation. See, audit paper is only technical paper. You should know the way it has to be done. As simple, it's not difficult at all. Take my word. One, you are identifying weakness. There are 6 board of directors. Only two are independent directors. You should give recommendation that there should be balanced approach. You should have 3 board of directors, full-time directors, and 3 independent directors. That is the answer. That's all. Simple. Use a ruler. Fine. Now go through the scenario line by line and jot down the weaknesses. What we have done. 10. Next couple of slides highlight the areas of weaknesses in color. There are more than 6 weaknesses, but you don't need to explain them all. As the requirement specifically asks 6 weaknesses, you won't get any credit for including more than 6 weaknesses. If you don't get, yes, I got 7, I got 10, I will write 8. No. You write 6, you will get marks. If you write 8, immediately your time factor will be there. Immediately your time factor, unnecessary by writing 8, neither you will not get more marks also. You will not get 14 out of 12. Very simple. Is it right? Now, what it says, Serena has been over trading for 20 years. They are talking about the things we have identified. Is it right? We have identified the same thing we have done. They have put it in color format. Okay. They have put it in the color format. Each and everything they have highlighted. Examination, you have the question paper. In the question paper, you can highlight this with this. Understand? You can highlight like this. Very simple. Okay. Now, what they have said, this is the answer how we have to do. See, now you will ask whether we should write this much. See, I am not saying that, and nobody will do that. Understand point? It's a way they are explaining. It's the way you have when you are writing it. The substance, the content should be relevant. Understand point? There should not be a skeleton answer. Skeleton is that you should use appropriate way of presenting. The board consists of 2 non-executive directors who jointly shared the listing, joined shortly before the listing. The principles suggest that there should be appropriate mix of directors. At least one other non-executive director should be appointed to the board. You can write that they have not practiced this since the beginning. You can give justification. Okay. First one. Are you clear about this?
So regarding this sentence, the board consists of only 2 non-executive directors who joined shortly before the listing. Is there an issue with joining just before listing?
Definitely not. You want to see what, otherwise they will not take it for listing purpose. They will see if you are going for a listing purpose, is it right? If you want to get it registered in stock exchange, the stock exchange requirements will be there, whether in your board there are non-executive directors are there or not.
So when the company becomes listed, they have to appoint non-executive directors, right?
100%. That I told you. Nowadays, corporate governance report should be there, attached with the annual report. Attached with the annual report. Then in corporate, they will see what is the composition of the board. Whether, see, now you have only 4 directors. Okay, you have 4 directors since beginning. Fine, okay. Since beginning you have 4 directors. Now you are going to submit an application for listing. You know the listing requirements that you should have non-executive directors. What you will do, you want to submit in next month. You want to, now what you will do, you will appoint now. You are appointing not to make it effective board, but you are appointing non-executive directors only to fulfill the formalities. Understand?
Yeah.
Is it? That is the weakness and that is the recommendation. The second one, take your time, understand it. It makes sense. Okay. Only financial director reviews information. There is nobody such as non-executive director to give an fair view, impartial view. The finance director is unlike, see, you are preparing financial statements and you will self-review. Is it right? It is nothing but a self-review. You are doing review yourself. Financial statements are the finance director. You are preparing and you are reviewing. That is the one of the weakness. That should be reviewed by the whole board. Board is responsible, including non-executive director, so that they will give a impartial view. Just read once. Are you understanding, Laila, Mariam, Mubid?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Simple. See, this is the reason you study the lectures, study text, things all will be easy. We cannot do this without going the study text. The CEO and chairman are one and the same person. Corporate governance guidelines state that one person should not have unfettered powers of decision of the board. You are working as a CEO and you are working as a chairman. See, CEO is operational. The CEO is operational function head, and chairman is the strategic head. He represents the board. Is that now you are representing the board as well as you are representing the management? Definitely there will be a conflict of interest. One of the non-executive directors should be appointed as the chairman of the audit committee. Because why it's happening? The chairman is part of the audit committee. Is it right? The chairman is heading the audit. That's why it has been mentioned. Where we have identified, is that the chair, Daniel Bond recently taken the role of chairman of the board. It is finance director and the chairman who makes the things. Somewhere we have done, is it right? The chief executive director set up the audit committee and he sits on the subcommittee. Means what is the role of CEO? Just imagine. CEO is having how many roles? CEO is, first he is a CEO, he is the chairman, Is that he is the chairman? He is going to be part of the audit committee. Is that he is going to be part of audit committee? Is it right? He is taking so many roles. Is it? He is taking so many. The rule says that they should not. The most important is there should be independent people. You should not have a responsibility which you are going to. If you do this, definitely what will happen? It will be not only it will be unfair, okay, or not what it is not transparent. It's not transparent. Your audit committee is very sensitive. Audit committee is very sensitive. Audit committee, there must be 3 independent non-executive directors, very, very clearly stated. Is that very, very clearly stated? Is it okay about this point number 3?
So when we say independent, it means non-executive, right?
Independent non-executive directors. If you say independent directors or you say non-executive directors, both are same. But they say that independent non-executive directors. Non-executive directors are also called as independent directors. Independent directors are also called as non-executive directors. Is it clear?
Yeah.
See the things. They are mentioned, is that they are mentioned 6 means 6. Okay? The executive director remuneration is proposed by the finance directors, approved by the chairman. There is a clear lack of independence and objectivity. What the rule says, it has to be the non-executive director should involve. Who are the people? The remuneration committee, RC. If I am writing RC, remuneration, don't write in examination RC, okay? Remuneration committee consists of what? Independent directors. Audit committee should consist of independent directors. Remuneration committee should consist of independent. The independent directors should fix the salary of full-time executive directors. Is that the non-executive director should involve in setting the approval of directors' remuneration. In other words, remuneration committee. Point number. Yes, tell me please.
It's mentioned here executive director's remuneration. But under the remuneration committee, we have 3 independent, which are non-executive directors, right?
Yes.
And it's mentioned here approval of executive directors.
Where?
So they get approval from the full board, right? Including executive and non-executive for the remuneration.
No. See, good. You have board of directors. Okay, board of directors. Now I will say board of directors. Assume there are 7 people. 1 will be the chairman. 3 will be the executive directors. 3 will be the non-executive directors. Okay. Now you will have a remuneration committee. You will have an audit committee. Okay, you will have a remuneration committee. You will have a remuneration committee and audit committee should be only who has to be part of this? Non-executive directors. Okay,
Yeah.
you only non-executive directors. Assume we have taken here 3. Assume we are having 8 directors, 4 and 4. If you have 4 non-executive directors, we have to have there must be any 3, but only independent non-executive directors.
Okay.
And these people will fix the salary of executive directors.
Okay.
Okay? Now, what it says, point number 5. See, it's very easy. Their directors have remained unchanged for the last year and not subject to reappointment by shareholders. The directors should be elected by the shareholders regularly. at intervals not exceeding, they say what, 3 years. We have done that annually. Annually is little bit tedious, okay? Annually is little bit harsh also. You should at least 2 years or minimum, or you should have maximum 3 years. Okay, you should have maximum 2 years or 3 years. That makes sense. Okay, means you should have re-elections. Fine. Now, point number 6. The audit committee consists of finance director and chairman and 2 non-executive directors, whereas it should consist of non-executive directors only. Only non-executive directors. This is the weakness. What is the recommendation? The audit committee should only consist of NEDs. When you see, you understand the concept, it's very easy. Are you clear about this?
Yeah.
Is that 6 points, 6 weaknesses, 6 recommendations? Simple English. You write in your own English. If in section B I am talking about, section E is very easy. If section B, write in your own English. Don't say that, but very structured. They gave you clear instructions. Is that they have given very clear instruction what is the approach you should adopt. Now coming back to this, okay, what is the audit committee and what is the role of audit committee? Okay, audit committee, what audit committee will do? Audit committee is a subcommittee of board of directors, usually containing number of non-executive directors. For example, UK states that audit committee should consist of at least 3 independent NEDs. Responsibilities should be out in terms of reference. It means what are the responsibilities? It has to be clearly there. Now, what does audit committee do? That's very important. Monitors the integrity of financial statements, non-executive directors. One of the non-executive directors should be the having a financial qualification. They see the integrity of financial statements and any announcements about company's financial performance. Understand point? They will see the integrity of the management, integrity of the financial statements. Now, integrity means
completeness and transparency.
Yeah, it should be complete, okay? It should be honest. It should be true and fair, okay? It should be honest. You can put as many synonyms as possible, okay? You put as many synonyms as possible. Is that? You should be complete. That's very important. It should be as per the we have done CREST criteria. We have done that five way. Is it? Subject matter should be there. It should make things very, very specifically, and we have to put it in a very, very honest way. True and fair. Is it a true and fair? That is the reason whenever we submit the annual reports, we say financial statements are true and fair. Is that? Reviews the company. What the audit committee will do? Audit committee will review internal financial internal controls. Is that? These are the functions of audit committee. They will ask. They give the scenario and they ask any two which of any two are the functions of audit committee. Is it? They make it a point. Most of you, maybe you are writing first time. They will ask any two. The 2 marks question, they will ask any two. Most of the questions will be like this. Is it? They will say what are the internal controls and what are the risk management systems. They will monitor and review the effectiveness of internal audit. And they will give only recommendations. Okay, they will not give any other thing. They will not say you have to appoint, you must know. Only recommended. Again, divide this into two things. Is that they talk about the internal, make recommendations about the appointment, reappointment, and removal for internal or external auditors. They will give recommendations with appointment, reappointment, and external. Now, what is the fourth one? Review and monitor the independence and objectivity of external auditors. How external whether the external auditors are independent means they will put the checks and balances. Is that they will put the checks and they put the checks and balances on the management. They put the checks and balances on the internal controls. They put the checks and balances on the appointment, removal, and the reappointment of auditors. They will have how the performance of external auditor. They also develops and implements policy how we have to have a engagement of external auditors with respect to non-audit services. With respect to non-audit services, preparation financial statements, consultancy services, tax audit, you are talking about internal audit, is that? You are not non-audit services, especially, is that? Now, and reports to the board how it discharge the response directly. They will be here, is it right? They will be here, audit committee. Okay, audit committee, CEO will be here. Okay, they will bypass the CEO and they will directly report to the board. Is it clear about this? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Next. What are the benefits are there? Is that what are the benefits are there? See, these things we will cover in most of the cases. Is that some subsequently in other chapters also you will cover. See, when we are having an audit committee, definitely they are taking so many. They are in their framework. They have so many functions. Automatically the quality of financial reporting will improve by on behalf of they will review the financial statements on behalf of the board, and definitely the quality, the presentations, the content, they will make it point that things have been done as per the criteria or not. Second one, creates a climate of discipline and control. By having an audit committee, they will reduce the opportunity for any fraud. We are not using the word errors. We are using very clearly. See the word utilization, fraud. Is right? When you are having the audit committee, what they say, enable non-executive directors to contribute independent judgment. Because audit committee consists of only NEDs. Is it? Or independent means audit committee will have independence. They will not be under any influence. Fourth point, help the finance director to provide a forum. Is that to raise the issues of concern. Is that if you have, it will help if there is any issues are there with respect to financial statements, because audit committee is reviewing the financial statements on behalf of the board. They can give suggestions to the financial director that how best we can make value added financial statements. Is it? These are the benefits of the audit committee. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Right? It's almost you got the understanding about this. Next, what they say strengthens the position of external auditor by providing channel of see if there is a good audit committee, effective audit committee, is it that automatically what will happen? It gives a positive message. Yeah, everyone external auditor will see who are they in the audit committee. Are they working? Are they raising the issues? If if they are doing a very effective job, automatically what will happen? They are giving a positive message to the outsider. Provides a framework which an external auditor can assert his independence. Is that what will happen next when an external auditor is putting in the audit committee independent directors unfairly they will not take any they will have see audit committee will have a balanced approach, is that they will have very balanced approach, is that if it is fair they will support either side, okay, understand point, external auditors or management whoever is fair means they will have an independent view, is that they will make things, they will act as a judge, they will make a they will defend, I can say like that, is that strengthens the position of internal audit function also. Means if you have the audit committee, now you can see the importance of audit committee. Is that the importance of audit committee, the importance of independent non-executive directors who are the part of the audit committee as such. Is that? And last but not the least, you will increase the public confidence. Is it clear to you?
Yes.
Now, what are the drawbacks? Is it what are the drawbacks? What are the executive directors may not understand the purpose of audit committee. It's a general one, okay? It's a very simple one. They will not understand the importance of audit committee. They perceive that it detracts from the means definitely audit committee. Somebody is there to oversee. Then there will be some reluctance. Okay, there will be some reluctance. They may be difficult in selecting sufficient non-executive directors who are competent in auditing matters. Sometimes it happens. Is that just not we are not denying it? Is that maybe there is some difficulty? What happens? The establishment of such a formalized reporting procedure may divert the auditors from raising matters of judgment and reporting and limit them to reporting only on the matters of fact. See, it is very formalized, very structured, very structured. Now, if you see the major companies, if you have the companies listed, the top 50 companies, I can say like that, listed companies, they are very much concerned about audit committees. People will see, shareholders will see, even the stakeholders will see, banks will see whether it is there or not, audit committee is there or not, how effective the audit committee is functioning. Is functioning. That gives a very positive image. Is that? And definitely if you are appointing the directors and non-executive directors, the cost may be increased. They say maybe. Okay? They say maybe. Is that? These are the drawbacks. Yes, tell me please. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Keep this in mind. We are going to cover in detail. Okay, we are going to cover in detail in chapters 7 and 8. Okay, 6, 7 or 8 in all the cases. To help why we need internal controls to safeguard the assets. The entire subject I can say is based on internal controls only. Entire subject. Audit is majority, I can say 40% of the audit syllabus is based on internal controls. It helps to prevent and detect fraud. It will safeguard whom? It safeguard the shareholders. Because investment, they are making the investment in the form of assets. Is it? They are making investment in the form of assets, and you have to safeguard the interest of the shareholders. Okay, that's the reason why here we are talking very briefly. We are covering internal controls. Okay, what the internal control says is that who are the, what is the concept and what is the framework. The directors are of the company are ultimately responsible for internal controls. Okay, internal control, internal auditor is the employee of the company, and internal auditor is appointed by the management, charged with the governance, definitely by the directors. Once they have set up the system of control, the directors, you have to review whether controls are effective or not. Is it right? Control directors review means they will review the system. Okay, they will see, they review the reports of internal control. In some corporate governance codes, recommend that directors should report on the review of risk management and internal controls in their annual report. Risk management, risk management is risk management is part of the internal control. Okay, risk management, risk factors. Okay, risk management, how the moment effective internal controls are there, the risk will be reduced. Risk, we cannot say that risk can be zero. Okay, we can only minimize the risk. Keep it in mind, we can only minimize the risk. We cannot say that it is zero risk. Nobody can say that in the world. Many companies will use internal audit function to review internal controls and make recommendations to improve. You see the thing, every company, every other organization, now it is part of the regulatory requirements also. Now it is part of the regulatory requirements also, that if it is a listed company, the listed company should have an internal auditor. Again, there are requirements in corporate governance to consider the need of internal audit function annually. Just read through it once, please. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Next. Okay, we'll complete this. Okay, only 4 slides are there. ISA 360. We have covered any ISA till now?
No.
When you are, when we are doing this, take one book, okay? Take one book or take one page, A4 size paper, or take on the Excel sheet, write ISA. Is it right? What are the ISAs? We are going to cover it, okay? This will be helpful in section B. Okay, this will be helpful, and in section A also they will ask, as per ISA 260, what is this? Is it ISA 260, communication with those charged with governance? How it has to be communicated? The persons or organization with responsibility to overseeing. Who are the people who are charged with governance? Who are charged with governance? The persons or organizations with responsibility for overseeing. That, that is the basic definition. Is that this is the basic, the important definition of the things. Who have responsibility to oversee the activities. What do auditors, why do auditors need to communicate? What is the reasons for communication? Very simple, basic one. Is it right? Communication under assist auditors and under charged with governance to what we are doing to understand audit related matters. And it helps you to develop a constructive working relationship.
So here we are referring to the internal audit committee, right?
Pardon?
We are referring to the internal auditor, right?
We are only referring to the auditors. When we are referring to the, see, ISA is only for, exclusively for external auditors. Understand? Exclusively for external auditors. See, internal auditors will be communicated on day-to-day basis. Is it? Internal auditors will be communicated on day-to-day basis. Is it? External auditors communication is very important. Is it? And external, you should know what is the audit related matters. So, internal auditors, internal controls. External auditor, financial reports. Is it? A broad classification. I am putting this. Is it right? I am putting this. The external auditors and internal auditors. Is it? External auditors are exclusively financial statement. Internal auditors, they will do everything. Everything. They will, and most importantly, they are identifying, implementing, and reviewing internal controls. External auditors also review internal controls. Is that external auditors? But who are the internal auditors? Are responsible for internal controls. External auditors are responsible for financial statements and review of internal controls. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Now, they assist. Is that here we are very simple. Is that we are talking about the thing. Now, communication allows the auditor to obtain info. See, very simple. The more you talk, the more you discuss, the more you debate, the more you ask, then only things will come. I cannot say that I'm just go there and just do my work and come back. No. Wherever what we are doing, the most any issue is there, first you have to discuss with the management. Any issue is there. That's it. Tomorrow you will be part of auditing team. Is there anything? First discuss, talk to them, understand things, what happening, then come to a conclusion. You should not come to a conclusion directly. Is that the moment you discuss what will happen, communication allows the auditor to obtain the information. Relevant information will get. If you are not asking, what happened? Anybody will give you? No. If you are not asking what is there in the mind of auditors, can anybody know? Cannot. Is that so? The discussion is there. First thing is you have to collect the relevant information. Is that see? I am talking about something in down the line. Then you should discuss. Then you should inquire. Then last you have to ask for a return. You should not ask them initially that give me in writing. No, discuss. Clarity will increase. Maybe I cannot understand the system. I'm an auditor. I went there. I don't know what's happening. Then I will ask people who are charged with governance. I ask the relevant person who is charged with governance. They will explain me, yeah, these are the things we have done. This is the way it has been done. This is the process. Then automatically what will happen, we'll get more information. Are you clear about this? Communication assists those charged with governance to fulfill. There is a responsibility also. There is a management responsibility also to communicate with the auditor. It's not only the auditor responsibility. Thus reducing the risk of material misstatement. The moment you communicate it, definitely what will happen? Any doubts are there, any question marks are there, anything which is not clear, definitely you will get more clarity and you will identify so many different, I will not say errors, is that you will identify so many queries, is it right? So many queries, so many issues will be there. Definitely you are communicating with the management or charged with the governance. Definitely what will happen, some issues will get clarified. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some will be there, still some will be not clarified. Some you require more details. That is a secondary thing. But what will happen? It will be filter it out. Okay, that is the reason why we have to communicate with the people who are charged with governance. So what are the matters you have to communicate? The auditor responsible in relation to only the audit. Okay, what is the scope, what we have to do, and what is the timing? How much, within what time we should complete? Is it what are the activities? What are the things we have to do? Is it what is the tasks, and what is the duration? Is it significant findings from the audit? You have very significant. We cannot discuss all matters. Important, key, keep it in mind. Very important word. They are talking about significant, which are very key. Okay, we cannot have all, and we should also discuss auditors' independence. You see the thing, if you review all the slides, only in this chapter we have covered independence at least 10 times. Yes, tell me please.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, we have covered independence so many times. Is it right? Example, how auditors communicate. We are talking in terms of the engagement letter. What are the things that has been specified in engagement letter? Through that we can work it out. We'll say what is the planning letter before we start an audit. At the end of the audit we will have the report to the management what we have done, and subsequently if you have any meetings we can discuss in that forum, in that platform. During the audit itself there should be a ongoing communication between the audit team and the management as issue arise. Means as it happens you should have a discussion. See, when you are going for an audit or anybody is coming for in your firm as an auditor, definitely you will give priority. Anything they are raising, you are assigned to give the clarifications for those issues first on a priority basis. Is it right? That is as it has been arised. Is it? Now, coming to the things. Corporate governance has not been tested in every sitting the way it has been tested under old syllabus. Is that it has been tended to form short knowledge based of longer questions. However, it is important area to understand. It is the area which you should be able to score well, relatively straightforward. Your knowledge and application skills could be both tested in scenario based question on this area or multiple choice questions in section A. Corporate governance is very relatively small part of effort, but it is very relevant to the current issue, likely to be tested. Do not ignore this topic. Is it okay with this?
Yeah.